This way, yeah, I think you have to face it.
Up towards the corner. Are we actually on? Like, are people hearing us?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. We're just going to get the camera figured out.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And so I'm going to be working up in the left-hand corner of this painting mostly. And on those trees. Make sure that it's all in the image. And maybe just quickly a pan down to the rocks we did on Wednesday. And there, that top corner is what we're going to work on today. So thank you for joining us. It's probably just you joining us, Rachel. Can you see it good on your screen?
Yeah.
So my niece Rachel is here with us. I'm Lori, and we're going to do a tutorial on how to paint trees in acrylic on this painting that I have going. And this view is from a beautiful bay called Francis Point Marine Park. And this is actually the ocean. It looks a bit like a lake because there was an island in the back that kind of closed off the bay, but it's actually the ocean. So what all of this is over here is an underpainting. And it always looks a bit messy and a little bit wild at this stage. And what I'm going to do now is put in some of the mid-tones and the highlights, and you'll see the painting start coming to life and looking a bit more realistic, even though I'm just using semi-thick paint. It's acrylic paint mixed with water, but heavy-bodied acrylic paint. And then I'm just blobbing it on, like kind of using my brush as almost like stamping the blobs of paint on, and I'm really not trying to create leaves. I'm just trying to create the proper color in the proper spot. And so I'm looking at my reference photo, and I'm seeing that there's some very faded yellow bits to this part of the tree. I'm looking for the shape and color, and I've got it actually a little bit too bright, but what I can do is layer on things. Like once I get the shapes in, I can decide that, oh, that's too dark, or that's too yellow maybe, and I need to like whiten it up. This color I'm using right now is Cad Yellow Light, and a little bit of my darkest green, which is Hooker's Green. Tiny bit of Hooker's Green, and then I've mixed it with white to lighten it up even more. And here we go, putting in some of these. So I'm trying to stick with the same color on my brush so that this is sort of the fastest method to do things. So you're not always just kind of painting all the detail at once in one corner at a time. You just keep going all over the section, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Hey Rachel, is there anyone with us?
Yes, there's one person here right now.
Nice. I hope I'm loud enough. I will try to talk a bit louder because I still don't have a proper microphone to plug in. So let me know if I need to talk a bit louder. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I hope you're having a nice Saturday. We had a bit of a interesting morning, Rachel and I. My mom has the sweetest little dog that she's had for 18 years, and the little dog died today. Our little Teddy that we've known longer than Rachel's been alive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we've been expecting it. Teddy's not been well, but so we were up really early saying goodbye to Teddy and being with my mom. But Teddy's been an amazing part of the family. We'll miss her. I actually did a painting of Teddy for Nana for Christmas.
I saw that. It was really cool.
Maybe I'll see. I don't think I time-lapsed it. No, I don't think I videotaped it. I think I just enjoyed painting it. But it'd be nice to try to share it on YouTube. Keep Teddy alive. Ooh, that didn't sound good. I don't know if you heard that on recording, but somebody just screamed.
Shelly Harris said that it's looking great.
Oh, hello, Shelly. Thank you. It's crazy what this because the underpainting is so on its way already, how kind of adding in one more color, especially a bright color, can start making it from a distance look like something. So there's some yellow here, there's a little splotch here. And I'm purposely trying to make different kind of shapes with my brush. Like sometimes I wipe a lot of the paint off and I just use the very tip of the corner and just kind of flick it. And sometimes I do purposely I'll change the angle of the brush because it's a knife edge brush. I'll change the angle and I'll go up or diagonal just because I want to make it look very natural and not too perfect. And then there's a bunch of cool little highlights.
Evil Meatloaf said...
Is he here?
No, he said, what is it you keep looking down at?
Ah, I'll show you. This is my reference photo. And it's too big to hold on to. So this is a real place near where we live, and that's what I'm trying to paint. Could you see kind of, was I on the camera where, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
Sometimes I get too close and I don't really know what I'm showing.
Also, Shelly Harris said that June Perry referred me to you. She says you're amazing.
Oh my goodness, that's actually a relative of mine.
Yeah, I was reading that and I was like, oh,
Awesome.
that's crazy.
My California cousin. That's great. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, it's interesting because I think when Bob Ross painted, I don't know if he ever had a reference photo, so you never saw him looking down at anything.
Yeah, I think he just kind of went for it.
Yeah, he just did it from his head, I think. But I like to paint real places, especially where I live, because there's so much beauty here, and I want people people that know the locations, I want them to recognize it and remember, oh, remember we went for a picnic there, or we used to vacation at that spot, or so I really want it to be meaningful that way. And it's kind of fun. What color?
Yeah, he always had like the happy little trees. And
Yeah. Are these trees looking happy?
I think he had a lot of insight in just like my worst thing is like I'm awful at being able to do like shadows and stuff. Like unless I have a reference of like the actual picture and I can see like, oh, that's where the shadow is. If somebody just gave me something and was like, okay, make the shadow come
Look
from this
realistic.
angle, or like
Yeah.
here, I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know what it's gonna look
I
like.
think it comes with painting a lot of different pictures of the same image, same type of image, and then eventually you just start seeing patterns and then you can do it without a reference photo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get there, but maybe.
Yeah, have you ever just wanted to like just try to like create something?
Just
create
kind
a
of-
place?
I don't know. I haven't had the courage to do that. Yeah, I guess because I always want to make a masterpiece. Definitely, I know a lot of people say, oh, don't worry about it's the process. Don't worry about the final result. But I like having nice final results. But I suppose some people just want to play, and that's what I guess that's when I do my paint pouring. That's just playing, and I can just let that be what it is. So these are way too green. That should just be more yellow than green. So I'm going to stop putting it there. Maybe I could put a little bit on the water just because it's on my brush and I need that color there. It's nice to use up what you have handy, because otherwise I have to rinse out my brush too many times and then it takes longer.
Shelly Harris says that she lives in Salmon Arm and is a new painter, and that June says that she could learn lots from you.
Oh, right on. Yeah, there's over 100, I think there's 120 videos on this, on my painting channel. So if you head to, after this, or if you get tired of this, and you head to my YouTube page, you can research, or you can search out, I've got seascape paintings, there's animal paintings, there's black and white paintings, if you want to just do some really simple paintings, because painting in black and white is a nice way to get your shapes and practice without complicating it too much. And yeah, over 100 and I think, yeah, I'm probably over 120 paintings now on, or tutorials on the channel. So I hope you can paint along to some of them. Some of them are real-time paintings, and then some of them are time lapses if you're a person that just learns by example, which is sort of how I did it. I just watched a lot of sped up paintings, and then I could just see the overall process that I needed to figure out. Yeah.
I liked your the cat and the horse. Those ones are like, I guess I really like black and white.
High contrast, and just could, well, I guess it could go anywhere. Like it suits a lot of decor as well. Yeah. Where some of my really vibrant paintings, if a person's really into like minimalism and stuff, and if they're into like designing with beiges and whites and blacks, my paintings are a bit too vibrant, but the black and whites aren't. They're everywhere. I'm going to put some, so now I'm mixing a color, it's called Payne's Gray, and a little bit of phthalo turquoise for some shadows down here.
It hasn't turned off.
Okay.
So.
Huh. Okay, is it on again?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Sorry about that. Something happened with the internet for a moment. So I think there's a question for us, is there?
Oh, yeah. Well, Evil Meatloaf said, I think that artistic talent is innate, that is to say some are born with it. Most of us have to learn it to perfect it. Mm. He said something about Buckethead, but I don't know who that is.
Is that music?
I'm guessing it says something about guitars.
Oh. I guess a lot of artists also enjoy music like we do. I am into music for sure. I've actually been toying around with doing a music channel too.
The quality is like going super weird. I don't know why.
Shoot. Our internet's a little wacky. Yeah, it's doing the round.
Yeah, because right now on the screen it's just like super fuzzy, like you can't see it. It's not focusing.
That is too bad. Maybe I'll just try to do a really quick live one then, because it sounds like we're going to have some trouble with the...
Yeah, I don't know.
It may not.
You can't really see any of the stuff that you're doing. It's pretty blurry.
I wonder, I can't really just stop and start, can I?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's still doing this circular thing. Well, that is odd. We have such great internet, generally.
Yeah, it's just like super blurry.
I wonder, do you think that I'm still being heard?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, I think that we're having internet trouble today. This live has only been 15 minutes, but we are planning to do another one on Wednesday. And we will definitely check our internet connection and make sure that it's really high quality that day, because...
Somebody just said that you're still broadcasting fine.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh, so
but
from what you can see, it's still looking good?
Maybe it's just the Wi-Fi on the laptop that's making it weird.
I don't know.
I can't see it on here.
Okay, well, maybe I'll do a few more details if it's still okay. What I noticed in this painting is that I painted too much here. I need the sky to be showing through, so all I'm doing now is painting the sky back in between these trees. And sometimes you have to do that, and that's okay. as long as it dries super light, because you mix a color that is light enough, because acrylic paint always dries darker than what it looks like when you're mixing it. So you always have to add extra white than you think you do. How does it look to you, Rachel, right now?
It's still blurry here, but
Still
the
blurry.
Evil Meatloaf, he said that you're totally fine, that it looks clear. I think it must be just the laptop then.
Okay.
That it's just...
I'll just do a few more details. And maybe, like I say, we will probably cut it short just in case.
Yeah.
And then finish maybe these trees and those trees over there on the next video. Yeah, if anyone else has anything to suggest or to say, or if you can let us know if it's blurry for you, that would be good. What I'm looking for when I'm doing this is like actual shapes, actual little blobs in certain quadrants of the reference photo. I'm noticing there's like a whiter color there. There's like a little two blobs there. It's not exactly perfect, but I'm trying to just mimic some of these shapes, and then I fake the rest of them. That seems to work.
Fake it till you make it.
Yep. You just find a few really obvious shapes and colors, do those ones, and then the rest of it seems to fit together. And then when you walk across the room to look back at it, you can see if anything's glaring that you need to, it's like, oh, that isn't working, or something like that. It's a lot lighter in this area, but it's supposed to be yellow. I'm just going to lighten it with this color because it's on my brush for now, and see if it works. So there's the space between these trees right here. There should be some more sky showing through in here. This blob is supposed to be that blob right there. I think that's pretty good for the sky. I'm just going to lighten the sky behind these trees a little bit. Blend it in and make it all look like it was done at the same time. Should do it. So what kind of stands out to me right now is that this chunk needs to be a lot lighter. I've got it quite yellow, so I'm going to try to mix a color that's super light with a little bit of a green haze behind it, and that's going to help that chunk pop a bit better. It's kind of a bluey green, so I just put a couple of the light blue colors together with the yellow, and then added a bunch of white to it. And once I get it on the canvas, I'll know if it's light enough. Yeah, I want to follow this. I don't want it to look too much like the sky though, so now I have to add a bit of yellow to make sure that it doesn't look like the sky peeking through. It's actually highlighted foliage.
He's poking his head open a little bit.
Oh. Okay.
Do you have a question, Mitchell?
Mitchell, want to come paint?
What are you doing?
Okay. We should probably tell some stories. It's getting too quiet in here.
No, the Evil Meatloaf person said Would Canada be willing to take Trump off our hands? I think we'll have to pass on that one.
I think we'll have to pass. How is that going? Do we want to talk about that?
I don't really look at politics anymore. After that happened, I was like, this is a little too crazy for me.
It was a sad day. Well, it's been a sad couple of years. Yeah. Any plein air painters out there? Paint outdoors? That is something I want to master. Is to get outside and not have a reference photo, but just stand inside my reference and just paint what I see. But it's so hard because you have to get it on canvas very quickly because the light keeps changing and the wind keeps knocking your canvas around, and your paint dries faster than usual, and it's quite a thing.
I think Mitchell wants you to look behind him so you can see him.
Okay, I will totally look at him in 1 second. Where is he?
He's on the ground.
Oh. Mitchell, you can talk.
Yeah.
You can have 2 moderators.
Yeah, you can say stuff.
Say
You want to
stuff.
add something.
So Mitchell is here. He's my 16-year. Well, he's not 16 yet. He will be 16.
Or they're gonna say hi. Just kidding. He just turned 17. I'm like, no, he did not.
He's gonna be 16 next week after. And
Mitchell's apparently not gonna talk. He's just gonna type on the chat.
oh, is he chatting to us?
Yeah.
What's he saying?
At first he said, "Look behind you," and then when you said you can talk, he said, "I am. I'm right here."
Hi, Mitchell. This is weird. We have a watcher right here in the room with us who won't speak to us. That's okay. Because he's so shy, right, Rachel?
Yeah. He's really shy.
Yeah, right.
Not outgoing at all.
No. Not at all.
Mitchell, Ruby wants you.
So, Mitchell, maybe you could tell us in the chat if you want. Can you see what we're trying to do here? Is it clear on your screen?
Yeah, is it clear?
Because we're all concerned that nobody can see anything.
He's typing.
Okay.
Apparently he's mute now.
I was going to say he's become mute.
He doesn't talk.
Okay. It's a thing. Ruby's going to talk for you. Did you hear my kitty meowing?
Ruby! She wants Mitchell to pet her.
And he won't?
No, now he did. Did Mitchell hear about Teddy?
Yes. I don't think Mitchell has processed it yet.
It's harder to... Mitchell on the group chat, or on the chat said, I can see what you're doing, but the video's kind of pixely. Could just be my connection. He's also on the same.
I was gonna say, I guess
on.
so, since you're on the same connection.
But now the laptop one is getting clear again.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Wi-Fi is just a little whack.
A little wacky.
A little wacky.
Oh, right.
But it is harder to process things, like, especially because I wasn't sad when my mom, like, I was sad, but I didn't, like, cry or anything when mom first told me, because I just kind of, like,
you kind of
don't
believe
think
it at
about
first
it.
or
Yeah,
something?
you don't really believe it, and then when I saw her, obviously that was really sad.
Yeah. Teddy is a little, what is she, a multi-poo?
She's like, isn't she part Chihuahua?
No.
Multi-poo,
Maybe Chihuahua. What's
yeah,
another
she's
small dog?
a lot of mix of stuff, like Chihuahua.
And she was so tiny. She's like a little tiny little teacup almost. Well, not quite a teacup, but
she's pretty tiny.
small.
Pretty tiny. They were showing us the actual, like, clay things that you can put the paw prints for.
Yeah.
And for the example, they showed us a rat, like a rat's footprints. So, like, it was like just the 4 little paws, but we didn't know what it was. It looked so weird, and it was so tiny. It's like, how could it even, like, be...
So someone's pet rat they had put into little clay
You
he
didn't
doing?
even show anything.
What are you doing, Mitchell?
Wow.
I just changed my brush.
Is that all you want?
I just changed my brush type to a smaller one because sometimes you need to do that to kind of get your shapes to be a bit different. Sometimes you get in a bit of a rut, and I was definitely getting in a bit of a rut of doing the same shapes everywhere, so sometimes this helps. So it's the same type of brush, it's a knife edge brush, but it's just tiny. And I'm going to put some highlights on these rocks that I haven't done yet. And the highlight in the reference photo looks blue, really light blue, so that's what I'm going to do.
Also, Evil Meatloaf wants to see the view from where you are, but maybe you could show that after your...
We could do it now.
Yeah,
I can just swing it.
Just swing it back.
Boop, boop,
You have a really nice view from where
Oh dear.
you're painting.
Oh shoot, but now the Wi-Fi is doing weird things. So we have a little peekaboo ocean view out there. And sometimes I see whales. Well, once. Once I saw a whale. It was cool. Uh-oh. Is that okay? Sorry.
I believe so, yes. Here, I'm gonna go off the video and then come back on because it's like...
It's just doing weird things.
Well, yeah. And also, I guess my, my video has a big delay with yours, but Mitchell's doesn't, so I think it might just be the laptop, and maybe I just need to go back on. So I'm gonna see if I can do that.
So, Evil Meatloaf, do you have a view from where you live?
We used to have a view.
You guys have a view, don't you?
Kind of, but the trees are kind of overgrown.
Oh.
So now you can't really see.
And they're not your trees to cut?
Yeah.
Or trim? La la la.
Now the Wi-Fi is not letting me.
Not letting you come on at all?
Not letting me come on.
That's not good.
Is it because we're all on the Wi-Fi?
I wonder. Well, it shouldn't.
I'm not on the Wi-Fi.
Your own device?
Oh, well now it's... Okay, wait, now it's loading.
I'll put some white blobs up around here just to make a few little differences. So much of what I'm doing is visual. I have a really hard time talking about it, and so then I just say boring things. Or I mumble, or I talk too quiet. Do we have anyone watching, Rachel?
Yes, we have 3 people watching. That might include Mitchell if he's still watching. I don't know if he's
Is he asking us any questions? Should we answer any of Mitchell's questions?
He's not asking the questions right now.
Oh, that's boring. You should ask us some questions, Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell, do you think you'll ever go live on your YouTube channel?
Can he hear us? Is he even on? What are you doing, Mitchell?
Does he have his earplugs in?
I think he probably does.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mitchell said, showers are just domesticated waterfalls.
But I wouldn't want to paint one, though.
Oh, a shower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I paint waterfalls, but I wouldn't. But yeah, that's random. Good to know. What do you think that? Put some highlights on these shrubberies and see if that helps them look more like foliage.
Somebody asked if I'm your daughter. Nope.
Rachel is not my daughter. Rachel's my niece. She's my favorite niece. She happens to be my only niece, but she's still my favorite.
That's what makes it the best, is because then everybody can call me their favorite.
Yep.
And nobody else
gets mad.
by it.
Yeah. Nobody can get mad.
Apparently, he says, hearing me say his username, Evil Meatloaf, is fairly comedic.
She is pretty funny, somehow.
It's probably, that's why it's good to have a funny username when you go on live streams, because then people have to say it out loud.
Is that why you chose your username?
I mean,
We're guessing.
Yeah.
You're just like, is it?
I mean, I don't really get what else it could mean. Evil meatloaf.
I love it. I hope we're not hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
Evil meatloaf, but
Maybe it's like a.
Rachel makes me laugh. She
Very
says
serious name.
she says the things probably that I'm thinking, but I wouldn't
But I
say.
never say it aloud.
Or you could just tell us the story behind your name.
Yeah, maybe it's a backstory. Maybe your great grandpappy was named Evil Meatloaf.
I don't think so, but maybe. So I'm totally changing the color of these trees back here into purple for some reason. Just because I want to. I like the color purple. That is kind of the nice thing about painting, is that you kind of make your own rules sometimes, and sometimes it works. Other times you just have to fix it and say, oh, that was dumb. I'm going to go across the room and see what this looks like from far away. Because sometimes you need to do that. Huh. It looks a little weird. It's funny though, some parts of it look like shadows and other parts just like really weird shapes. Good to know. This part right here looks really weird from across the room. So I think all it needs is a couple of little flicks of light color amongst it, like inside here like that, just to make it look like a big bunch of foliage that the sky is peeking through. And it might fix it. Maybe. I remember when I was watching someone else painting, and they talked about painting sky holes, and what that means is like painting the holes that the leaves leave between them. So it sounds like a funny thing, but it's just, it really is the little flecks of sky. And it sometimes can make all the difference in your foliage if you just paint back in a few sky holes. Like this tree I've got painted way too dark, like it definitely needs some, not just holes, but some space between these branches. So I'll do a couple of those.
What? Oh, is he outside?
Mitchell's outside in Jamie's wheelchair, which neither of them need a wheelchair. They like to do tricks. I think they're trying to distract me.
I hope you fall backwards. Why did they have that? Why did they get that?
Jamie actually bought it in Vancouver so that he could do tricks.
That's the only reason.
Mm-hmm. Got it on like Craigslist or something.
Well, how much was it?
$50. It's really a really nice one. Like I can
Yeah.
imagine what it would cost to have to buy one, brand new. A couple of shadows over here. The tricky part is looking for this color and then just finding where it's hidden everywhere on the paint on the reference photo, and then just put flecks of it in as many places as your eye can pick up on.
Evil Meatloaf said, "What I enjoy about watching your videos is the enjoyment you seem to get from creating."
Yeah, it is. It's super fun. It's crazy when, especially when you walk across a room, because I mean I'm standing so close to this, it doesn't look like anything. My favorite part is when I walk across the room and look back and go, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Who did that?
It's Cindy.
Yeah. So do you paint Evil Meatloaf? Or are you all about music? So is our Wi-Fi all good now?
Yeah, it's looking much clearer now, yeah.
So strange. Maybe it's because it's the weekend and everybody gets on and
Yeah.
maybe
Hugs it.
maybe doing live streams on the weekend isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be busier. Like I thought maybe people are all doing their yard work and doing their family summer fun. Because how many people do we have watching?
3.
Oh, that's better than the first time.
Yeah. And Evil Meatloaf said that he enjoys mostly music.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
Got that vibe.
I got the vibe. Do you make music yourself? Or just look for your favorite bands?
Also, I've always found that it's so crazy that you're basically your entire side of the family is like crazy good at learning how to play instruments and like very quick at learning things. And it's crazy. Cause I feel like
it feels normal to me.
yeah, because I feel like if you like someone who's like, here's an instrument, you never played it ever in your life, here you go, here's how you play a few chords, you probably learn how to play it and then be able to continue playing it in like 10 minutes.
It seems like that, but actually I started playing guitar when Mitchell was a baby and he's 16. And so it actually took a long time before I could actually play in front of people. Well, yeah, maybe not that long. A year or two. And then once you can do a little bit of something, you just keep adding on to it, I guess. The more you... Apparently the first instrument's the hardest and then the second and third are easier. You're kind of building on the back of the knowledge that you already have.
Yeah, I feel like if I've tried to learn guitar a few times, but it's very like, I don't know, it's very difficult for me to learn it, but I feel like now that, since I know the ukulele, if
maybe
I
it would
tried
be
playing
easier.
guitar, maybe it might be a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Also, my fingers are not as flexible as I think, because I go to like do a chord, and I'm like, the fingers go all in that. Evil Milo says that he plays drums and writes lyrics.
Ah.
It's more of a dark and emotional vibe to his music.
I see.
Is Mitchell still outside?
I don't see him. Okay, I have to walk across the room again.
I'm almost done 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
We're always like, oh, it'll be really short this time.
Yeah, I
It'll
always
be
think
so
it's going to be short. And then it goes on and on. Okay, well, I don't know if it's really turning out yet. It might need another hour of me just putting speckles where I think they should go. But you get the idea that really that's what it's about. It's just layering on, kind of looking at where the stems are. Like that's what I was working on just now, was kind of trying to put these in the proper locations. And some this one's quite dark and these ones are kind of medium color. These ones down here are light. So that's sort of what I was doing there. And yeah, you just keep correcting yourself basically, and eventually things start kind of moving to the forward and the background depending on what you were trying to do. And yeah, so on Wednesday we will do another live stream, work on another corner of the painting, probably do some more rocks and some more trees.
Oh, it's like, the sound of your voice.
Oops. And yeah, so that will be Wednesday at noon.
Again.
To So thank you for joining us. That's always fun. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Wednesday, I
Do I just press the X?